Hey, YouTube people. Um, I've been trying to figure out a way to get Vive trackers built right into the Valve Index headset, so when it arrives, I can pop that right in and have integrated full body tracking into the headset. So I've been taking apart this Insten USB hub, and you can see on the inside here it looks pretty promising. It's got a flat bottom, and most of the cords line up pretty well. It also will fit inside the frunk area pretty much no problem. And you could leave it mounted in there and pull the Vive trackers out when you're not using them. Now, some people gave me some feedback on my last video, and especially thanks to the Climby dev, the guy who makes Climby. He stated that the magnetic cover goes flush. So I've given up on being able to use the trackers with the magnetic cover on. So our only option is going to be having them pointed straight up like this with an open cover. And it fits fairly well. I may want to see if I can desolder this USB end that I won't be using, and that will give it a little bit more room. But then we just need to attach this USB end. So I'm going to whip out the soldering iron to figure that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to loosen up the joints of that end USB port, since it will not be used. That way I can just pull it right out. But what I found was it actually was not an issue at all to undo. If you'll notice on the sides of that USB, the mount points are not soldered down at all. I guess the manufacturer decided to cheap out on solder and just kind of has them there. So this ends up bends right out, and isn't an issue to get that pulled off. So that made it super easy. So this is just a random USB cable that I had lying around that I took the end off. You probably could use any USB cable if you take it apart. So the pins go red, white, green, then black as you're looking at it in that orientation. So if we flip it over, it's going to be red at the bottom, white, green, and black. So hopefully I can get this soldered on here okay. Okay. Well, there we have it. Our 3-port full body tracking for the Valve Index headset. This is most likely going to have to be slightly bent up like this. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how the USB port lines up inside there, but it definitely will be able to fit in that space pretty easily. Probably use some Velcro tape or mounting tape or just whatever. And there we go. Now I just need to test this. I'm going to plug it into my computer with the USB extender and see how well it does. Or if I've just ruined it. Alright, so for the beta test, I've got a USB extender plugged into the front of my computer, which is more extensions than you'd get from the USB cable on the index, just because I'm going to the front panel and back out. And I've got my belt tracker, right foot, left foot, and I just burned my hand there. Awesome. But if we look over here, you can see that all three of those trackers are registered and tracking. So it seems like that's going to work fairly well. And anyways, just to kind of give a live view of this actually working, I've got those dots, that's my left foot and my right foot, and the dot to the left on that screen is the belt, which is on the floor with both of the controllers. So it's definitely working, and even though it's a bit of a hack job, it tends to work pretty well so far. So just like any normal USB hub, except that it will fit in that little front space. Now I won't be able to put the cover on over this, and I need to clean up the PCB a little bit, maybe even cover it with some electrical tape or something like that to darken it up, make it not stand out as much when it's mounted in there, but it definitely works.